So how do you know that your Irish father-in-law, who does his best to sound English erudite, how do you know that your Irish father-in-law is borderline homophobic, anti-Semitic? For starters, he tosses the word Shylock around your kids so freely, around your 3 Jew blood tainted children. And I'm thinking, dude, you have nothing in common with Shakespeare. Stop trying to downplay his literary output and the fact that he's the most famous poet of all time, because according to some boring documentaries on the BBC that accuse him of not really writing all of his own stuff, there's like some other ghostwriter back in his day that's like related to like Rupert Everett, and that Shakespeare was gay, as if like that like taints his like legacy, as if like Tennessee Williams is like less of a writer because he took up the ass. And I remember my daughter saying, "So, Daddy, is like Shakespeare, was he trans? Could dress up like a girl in all his plays?" I say, "No, Shakespeare is not trans, but Kevin Spacey is definitely gay about lunging at Othello in see-through tights again." But I don't think they're gonna let him back to the old Vic. So, and yeah, so you know your father-in-law is a borderline homophobic anti-Semite when he insists on not caring for the movie Inglourious Bastards. Awful ending. He's also quick to point out how like the Muslims did ban interest, so those Hyman hackers were really onto something. Don't you think, mate? And you know that your father-in-law is not a huge fan of the Jewish people when he goes behind your back and puts down like $3,000 a down deposit on a electric Ford Mustang for his daughter. Who cares if Ford was pen pals of Hitler? Who cares if Who cares if Hitler had a framed photograph of Ford on his desk? Who cares? Ford's ideas in his book, The International Heeb, inspired the Holocaust. I know, but I'm being a paranoid Jew. Despite the fact that 3 grandchildren later, they decide to adopt a dog called Heidi. Remember one time I was like, "Oh, England's wonderful, great Christmas markets. Yeah, we should go there. Yeah, but then we have to leave behind our baby, our dog." Well, I wouldn't want to depart you from your anchor baby.